Let's make something delicious. For this pumpkin cream cheese bread, we are going to start with our wet ingredients. We are going to start with 1 cup of pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie filling, pumpkin puree. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar. Yes, those are wet ingredients. For those of you who don't know this, sugar is considered a wet ingredient because once it touches liquid, it dissolves into a wet ingredient. So that's the reason it's always added with your wet ingredients instead of your dry ingredients. Well, there are some recipes where it is added with your dry ingredients. You have to go by what the instructions say. Now, we mixed all of that together. Now to that, we are going to add 2 large eggs, 1/2 cup of a neutral flavored oil of your choice, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla, roughly measured. Break up those egg yolks, mix all of your wet together. This will take just a brief minute to get this all incorporated because right now your oil does not want to mix with the other ingredients. It wants to stay on top. You can't let it do that. You have to bring harmony to this universe. Now, our wet ingredients are fully mixed together. All of this universe in this bowl is in harmony now. Now for our dry ingredients. We have 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. We have 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. We have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to take just a little 1/2 moon whisk and whisk it all together, helping break up any lumps and get that pumpkin pie spice mixed in. And apparently throwing it all over the countertop. Now that pumpkin pie spice is my homemade pumpkin pie spice. I have had people request me to do it on this channel. I will need to do it in the form of a shorts. I am not really good at doing shorts yet. You'll have to be patient with me to get any shorts videos out. I am not really good with filming those or editing those yet. Be patient with me. If you need the pumpkin pie spice recipe soon, it's over on Art of Creation Homestead. You can go over there and get that recipe. Now we are going to bring back in our wet ingredients and we are going to add our dry ingredients in about 3 parts. That way it doesn't overwhelm and get too stiff. But you want to be very careful when you are mixing anything that is a quick bread or muffin because you don't want to work that gluten or you will end up with tough bread or tough muffins. So you just stir each increment until it's just mixed in. And that reminds me, our oven is preheated to 350 degrees. I probably should have told you that earlier, but the oven reminded me. Now we are going to add our next part. This is a super easy quick bread recipe that tastes like it's taken you forever to mix this up. Yeah, it hasn't. It's actually super easy and super delicious. Now we're going to add our last installment and we're going to stir that in just until we see no more flour, no more dry ingredients. Now I don't see, breaking down to the bottom and pulling up, I don't see any more dry ingredients. So stop mixing there, walk away. You don't want to make for tough bread. Now for the cream cheese portion of this program, you will need 4 ounces, which is 1/2 of an 8-ounce brick, of course, of softened cream cheese. This is very softened, it's room temperature. 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, and we are going to mix that up with an electric mixer because you can't do this by hand. Now that's all thoroughly mixed and we're going to add 1 large egg and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, roughly measured, of course. Now we are going to thoroughly mix this until it's smooth and creamy. Okay, now this beautifulness is all smooth and creamy and ready to be used. But first, I'm going to teach you a little trick so that makes this part much easier. We are going to load all this cream cheese mixture into a gallon size Ziploc bag because this is going to make it much easier. So we're going to zip our bag up and we're going to push it down to the corner. Here we have a standard size loaf pan and I've got it lined with parchment paper. You don't have to, but it's going to make it much easier to get out later. And I've sprayed this with cooking spray. I use coconut oil spray because I find that it solidifies and stays stuck to the pan and doesn't all just run down to the bottom. So now we are going to take about 3/4 of our pumpkin batter. You want about 3/4 of it in the bottom of your pan because you want your cream cheese mixture to stay a little closer to the top but not fully at the top. Now we are going to take our bag and we are going to snip off the end of the bag. And we are just going to start piping it back and forth right in the middle. You don't want to go all the way to the ends because you want it to be sealed. You want your cream cheese mixture to be sealed into your bread with pumpkin mixture. So now we are going to smooth that out just a little bit. See, that makes it so much easier than trying to dollop it on there and trying to keep it all in one place because it's not going to stay in one place. Now we are going to take the rest of our pumpkin batter and we're going to just slowly start putting it in dollops. That way it doesn't disturb your cream cheese mixture. You want to just put it in little dollops across the top of your bread. We are taking these pains with it because you don't want the cream cheese and the pumpkin mixtures to swirl. You want them in clear layers. So you want to gently spread it now. You want to gently spread those dollops out to the ends. Make sure you cover all of your cream cheese mixture. Now some of it may come peeking out to the side. It'll be fine. You don't have to worry about it and fret over it and oh, it didn't come out perfect. It's going to bake up beautiful no matter what. This is ready to pop into your 350 degree preheated oven. Now this will have to bake for a good little bit, so be patient with it. I'll show you what it looks like when we're there. This beautifulness is out of the oven. Like I told you, it bakes for a little bit. It baked until a toothpick inserted in the center come out with moist crumbs, not completely clean, that way it would carry over cook to perfection. It baked for about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. To be oddly specific, mine baked for about an hour and 4 minutes. Now, I've let it sit for just a few minutes so that I can handle this parchment paper easily. And I'll show you how easy it is to lift it out. See, you can just lift it right out. Now see here, you have this beautiful little cream cheese line peeking through to give you a little sneak peek of what's inside there. Oh. And you may see a little bit poking out on the sides, but if you see any, it's very little. Now you want to let this cool completely, I mean completely, before you ever cut into it, because it's not going to hold up well if you cut it while it's this hot. So resist the urge to cut it, even though it smells amazing and your whole house smells amazing. Now, when it's cool and I can cut it, I am going to come back and show you this cross section, because this cross section is going to be to die for. Now I promised you I would show you the cross section on this, show you what it looks like. And now it's nice and completely cool, completely room temperature. And now we'll show you. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And it's going to taste amazing. So remember, come back next time to Angela K's Kitchen, where I take you from gourmet to everyday and everything in between. God bless.
Now I get the joy of eating this thing because I'm actually pretty excited about it. This thing's pretty cool. Really good. Really nice flavor. The cream cheese mixture is like a cheesecake mixture in there. That's awesome. Great job, Angela K. This thing right here is a fantastic new way to get a pumpkin bread with some cream cheese mixture in there. I mean, like, if you like pumpkin roll, you know, this is a pumpkin bread. It's going to give you a similar feel. So delicious. Angela K really killed it. She can cook, y'all.